Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with Kerbal Space Program, where we're going to be continuing career mode in the 0.90 not first contract. That was the last update, better than ever update, where we have, I know it's been a little while since I played, but part of it was recording issues, part of it was time issues. But where I last left off was that I did the tutorial, skipped through I think 2 flight missions for altitude records, which someone pointed out in the comments. So I've had to farm a little bit of extra money doing some other missions, but my videos here are going to be focused a little bit earlier on just kind of knocking out contracts. And orbiting is one of the first big ones here, especially because you want to get money, especially on hard where it's at a premium, to try and upgrade your launch pad ASAP so you can get to bigger and better things. So I'm as close to mass as I'm going to be able to get. I do have some parts to try and collect more precious science, especially because right now I'm only rolling with 1 contract around. My goal is to possibly get into orbit and see if I can pick up 2 more contracts while I'm there. But my ship is pretty basic, except that the staging is screwed right now. So let's fix that real quick. Stage 6, Stage 5. I'm going to be doing my typical strategy of stack boostering, and then eventually using my tiny LV909 engine to get the rest of the way, because I have to get up to the upper atmosphere, and then hopefully this will be enough fuel to push me through. Maybe I'll go one go, maybe I won't, but Jeb is in the driver's seat, because right now we have a pilot, so hooray, let's launch! Alright, now, like I said, we have our staging up here. This is going to be the kind of staging where you destroy your stack decouplers, but my goal is just to get into orbit. We'll see if we can. I think I can, as long as I kind of stick with the plan in terms of burning efficiently up into the air. So let's just find out, give ourselves a little bit of a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Love the whole, like, this is just a piece of shit launch pad. It's great, but let's actually go ahead, and I think I don't have science from the launch pad, and I think I don't have science from space based on my last mission, so let's go ahead and launch. Now, one of the things that I've seen from watching some other people's videos, especially Scott Manlier, who you should also check out if you like Kerbal Space Program if you somehow haven't heard of him, is that you want to look at your prograde vector and actually burn along it as much as possible, even with the stacked units here, even with the solid boosters, just because that creates a more efficient burn. But this first one is just going to be all about going up into the air, and then we want to stage at the right time, burn at the right time, and then eventually we are going to start. I'm actually pitching the wrong way just a little bit, so we will tilt this slightly to the right here and try and keep it on 90 degrees as much as possible. 89 degrees is not ideal, but you know what, we really just want to get into orbit at this point. So we'll see what we can do here. So another stack solid fuel about to be down, stage it, and only lose a little bit of fuel. You get some actual thrust going up there. We do not want to go 99 degrees. Okay, so I may have just over adjusted myself just a little bit, because now I've got some annoying rotation. But right now our apoapsis is not quite where I want it to be. It's not awful, but it's not. I want all of my thrust going forward here. So we're really going to have to let the LV909 do its work here in just a second, where we are just going to be staging appropriately. There we go. So we just want to burn along the prograde as best we can. I said as best we can. And right now we're at 26, 27. I have a lot of fuel. This is a very efficient thing, and we want this to keep going up. So you're going to see it's not going to be very useful for me to just be watching how my ship burns. I want to be watching the reticule here and trying to keep my SAS up. If we look at my resources, I do have plenty of energy charge. I haven't unlocked much of that yet, but once we get to like the upper atmosphere up here, we're going to be in better shape. So just going to keep inching along even though I have my SAS on. And we're kind of doing our gravity turn here already, just keeping it very nice and slow. And eventually, once this apoapsis gets up to like 80 or 90,000, see, we've just switched to orbital mode, so now we're going to want to push out this way. And maybe I could have done that a little bit before, but as long as I'm burning at this trajectory up above, we just want this to get higher and higher and higher. And I think I'm going to have enough fuel to do it. It's going to be pretty close, because the more fuel tanks you get here and everything, the less efficient things get. But when you're strapped for cash early and everything, there's only so much that you can do to try and get this right, get this wrong. So our apoapsis is not really going up super fast anymore because we're flying kind of straight, but we're banking on being able to actually get ourselves wrapped around the planet faster. So all of this burning is going pretty well. Alright, so apoapsis, let's go for about maybe 80,000. I mean, the higher up we get, the less effect gravity is going to have on us. So we're flying up in space, which is good. I think I already have this goo experiment, yeah. So 85 is pretty decent. And now we're going to have to start burning towards the horizon here. And we're going to see how that goes in just a little bit. It may be better if I burn prograde, but we're going to play this a little bit differently than maybe I have in the past here. So we have a lot of places to go. That looks good enough. We do not have maneuver nodes to tell us kind of where to start or stop. So I do, even like I said before, even though I am playing on hard mode, I am not too good to the point where I'm going to just turn off auto-saving and stuff. Sometimes we're going to have to learn together, and we will play with this separately later on. But for now, let's see. I do know I need my mystery goo. Let's keep that. I do know I need my observation from space. So there we go. Question is, are we actually going to be able to get all the way around the planet on the fuel that we have? I'm hopeful. It takes about 2,000, or it's kind of like real life. It takes way more delta V to get off of the planet and out of the gravity well than it does to go to a lot of places. So my goal here is just, we're going to be burning prograde from here on out, trying to burn in the center of that node as much as possible. And fuel is going to be really tight, but we might be able to do it. And like I said, if I can actually get around this pretty well, and it's looking to be fairly close, but I think I'm going to be able to eke it out, because we just want that line to stretch, stretch, stretch. There we go. We're suborbital trajectory, we're still suborbital, and 5, 6, 7, 8. We're in an orbit. It's not a perfect orbit. It's not a pretty orbit, but it's an orbit. And we get our contract complete, which is awesome. And now, if we get that, because we get extra money, extra science, I am playing on the very diminished returns. But another thing that you can do here, while we are just looking at ourselves flying around in space, there's the moon. But if we go back to the Space Center, like so, and pardon the pauses in talking here because I want to make sure that I don't lose audio as I go through. You're going to see that we have some other options here. We have an Explore the Moon quest that's popped up over here. What I'm really hoping for is a science mission from around Kerbal, but okay, so we'll have to, I'll save the rescue one for another video because that rescue, I'm going to actually go ahead and pick that up. We do have a Sephiron experiment while orbiting there. Typically, you can sometimes get a science mission as well. So you want to play with these missions a little bit. Some are way worth it compared to others. Some are cost inefficient as hell, especially like 73 or 76. It's going to cost more to launch, even though it's landed with a decoupler. But yeah, I don't know if there's too many visual surveys that we can do. Oh, that's interesting. So there's multiple places that we can do for this visual survey quest. But those are all above, and on the surface of the site. So that's we can look at the map and see where those are, because there are going to be new quests that will pop up here. And we can actually take that, and with our orbital trajectory, we're going to... Oh, poor Richie Kerman. We'll have to make another video for that one, because doing these rescues without patch conics or maneuver nodes is fun and interesting and different. But we do have a landing site and multiple flight paths around here. That'll be another quest for another time. Maybe I'll let that stew for a little while. But Richie Kerman, we do have, let's see here, one more. Yeah, we don't have much else to do, so let's go ahead and just nail the landing here. Nope, we don't want that. We want to fly. I mean, sometimes mission control will just have things for you to do, but once again, getting into orbit is not super easy at all. Don't feel bad if you can't get into orbit right away. But it's one of those things, it's like riding a bike or something. Just once you figure it out, it just sticks with you. The thing that I really like about Kerbal Space Program as it stands right now, though, is that getting into orbit is freaking hard on hard mode. You have to really kind of think about what you're doing and make it happen. You can't just sit there and brute force it because of the weight restrictions. So we are going to just try and go ahead and see if we can stick the landing. I did not put legs on this thing, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, what does the future hold for this series? I mean, landing's going to be pretty simple here. And I may have to time warp this video in just a minute just to make it go a little faster. The future of the series, there's going to be some pretty much just tutorials for how to knock out some of these missions, especially some of these early missions. Hard has, I guess the biggest thing about hard difficulty is that there's a lot more grinding. You have to actually do smaller tasks to get more money. So my initial video, missing out on 2 of those launch quests, actually cuts out some of the money that you could get to upgrade your launch pad right away. And you want to, there's a lot of things that you can upgrade, but you want your launch pad upgrade pretty much as soon as possible. So are we actually, I think we're going to be able to land on land. I'm not sure. I already have highland biome and ocean biome, I believe. So hope we will be bringing more science. We're not going to cancel the crew report from space. So we'll see if we can get in like the desert or the Badlands or something. But I mean, the 0.9 update is really nice because all the planets have biomes now. There's lots of science to get from lots of places. And there's really a lot to do. But in terms of hard mode, one of the hardest things is just actually getting things together, getting started, getting off the ground. And we'll see. I may still be landing in the ocean here. Just looking at my poor Apple apps going down fast. We're going to burn in the atmosphere here in just a minute, so this may still be a watery landing as much as I was hoping to avoid that. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that you do have your physical time acceleration. Even in 0.9, there is still the Kraken lurking. Oh good, we're actually going to make it onto some mountains. Like I said, I already have the highlands, but that's okay. One of the things you just got to watch out for is that if you accidentally leave it on too high of physical time acceleration, bad things can happen. Even though, well, I mean, this game still is in beta, as opposed to alpha status. Probably should maybe decouple and turn on my parachute though, so let's do that. Hopefully I did not just launch a missile into my ship. Wow, that was really lucky. Somehow my ship did not explode. It's been a little bit since I played Kerbal Space Program. It's one of those things, like I said, it's like a bike. You remember how to do things, and it's not so bad. But typically you do not want to throw your whole engine system into your capsule. I've had smaller impacts actually kill me in this game. So didn't put landing struts on it or anything. These should be positioned to where they survive the impact, but we are actually in the mountains, so parachute should deploy in just a moment. We have our multiple altimeters here. There we go. Small explosion. Sorry, we missed it. And you can pretty safely accelerate once you get here. But yeah, I love the visuals for this game still, although there are plenty of mods to upgrade the visuals. And I will be digging into those. But the focus of these videos early on are at least going to be just let's get into the basics. Let's get through the early hard mode so we can get to have some other fun. And we're rolling down the river. Alright, so I can't flip that. We're done. Yay, recover. So we get 60 science just for that, and a little bit of funds back because we were about halfway around the world, and Jeb gets another level, and it is nighttime at the Space Center, but with the money that I have from the victory that I have achieved, and let's see if there's any other good things. Now, exploring the moon is very nice and lucrative, but not going to be there for a while. Yeah, there we go. Science data from space around Kerbal. It would have been really nice to have that before, but we can definitely get that on the next mission. You always want to try and mission as efficiently as possible to get money along with it. So next video, we're going to upgrade the launch pad. Hooray! Next video is just going to be, let's rescue Richie Kerman. I want to show you, because we do not have the map upgrade here, we don't have patched conics, you can still rescue somebody who is in orbit. Like this. You've just got to know a lot about docking, and you got to know a lot about other stuff. So that's going to be another video for another time. For now, this is Way to Fail with Kerbal Space Program. It's a lot of fun. You should check it out. And you know what? You can keep watching here. There's lots of information to get from lots of people. Hopefully these videos are instructive or helpful, but I will see you all next time with more hard mode, grind mode, whatever you want to call it mode. Take care.